If you've been wondering what the deal is with the new Char-Griller 980 Gravity cooker, this is the video for you. Hey guys, I am Steve, the Cookout Coach, where we're all about trying to help you take your barbecue to the next level no matter what you need. Today what we're going to be talking about is my first impressions of the brand new Char-Griller 980 Gravity cooker. I'm so excited to finally have these cookers in my hands. I've been waiting to bring them to you since I heard they were announced. I knew what was coming in the package of these was going to be something that could be a game changer for backyard barbecue enthusiasts, and Char-Griller hit the nail on the head. They did not disappoint when it comes to this cooker. So while I've got some limited time on these cookers so far, I'm going to give you my top 3 first impressions. To begin with, number 1, this is a heavy cooker. This cooker weighs in at somewhere, I believe the box was 250 pounds, so deduct the packaging from that and figure out what it actually weighs. I can tell you from moving it around my porch, it is heavy. Now it's got some good wheels and casters, so if you're on a flat concrete surface, it moves around like a dream. If you need to go up and down levels, it's tricky and you're probably gonna need 2 people to do it. But the real thing about the heft is what that means. And what that means is this is a quality built cooker. This is entirely insulated. From the entire cooking chamber to what Char-Griller is saying is a triple insulated charcoal chute. Down at the bottom to protect it from the burn actually has fire brick. This cooker is built to last, it's built to hold temperatures and cook in all the elements, but also that insulation doesn't stop it from moving air, which is one thing I was slightly concerned of. As much as I love the acorn, the one downfall of Kamado style grills is they don't move as much air, so sometimes you don't get as much as that convective action. It's no big deal if that's how you want to cook, but I was hoping this would be a little different style of cooker, and it absolutely is. This thing moves a ton of air. Brings me into my second point, which is this thing is well thought out. As you put this thing together, you'll find that everything is really well thought out. From how the screws go in, to the fact that it's got an integrated grease trough with a removable tray for easy cleanup, to how all the wires hook together, because there's some electronics going on with this cooker. But the biggest evidence of the thought that went into this cooker to me is the controller itself. Because of how this cooker lights, you've got a fair amount of ignition smoke at the beginning because you're lighting the charcoal inside of the silo. Naturally, our charcoal has to ignite, so you're going to get some ignition smoke during that, and you are blowing heat through the chamber while you're starting to stoke that fire. You'll notice that the controller will read very early on that you've hit temperature. Even at high temperatures, the fan blowing through there will cause the internal probe to tell it it's reached temperature. At first I thought this was odd and thought it could be problematic in that if my internal probe for my computer thinks that we're already at temperature when I know the grates haven't heat soaked and the inside of the barrel hasn't heat soaked, are we going to overshoot temperatures? But amazingly, and I don't know how they did it, but somebody clearly thought about this. They knew that by placing that probe in that location where it would get hit by the air would slow down the fan driving the fire enough that as everything does settle in, as the grates heat soak, as the walls heat soak, and everything comes up to temperature, it stays steady at the target temperature. Honestly, the first time I was firing it up, I didn't think it was going to do that, but it absolutely settled in. And you might ask, well, Steve, how did you verify that? Did you verify that with the onboard probe? Are they in cahoots? I will tell you that I verified the evenness of the cooking chamber, the in syncness of the controller with the actual temperatures in the barrel with a third-party thermometer, a couple third-party thermometers actually, and it's amazing. It settles right down. I was super impressed when that happened. The third and final point I'm going to leave you with today is the charcoal hopper itself and how the fire and smoke specifically comes through this cooker. Admittedly, I've only ever cooked on one other Gravity cooker in my life. I'm not sure if it ran this way or not, but how the Char-Griller hopper works is the fire sits at the bottom of the grate down here, which is normal. That's how Gravity cookers work. The entrance into the cooking chamber goes on the other side of where the charcoal fire is. That is, all air and smoke passes through that fire before it goes into the cooking chamber. If you're new, you might not get the significance of that. If you've been burning wood fires for any amount of time, you'll know that this means that any volatiles, if you're running a little bit too much wood perhaps, you're running a little too green of wood, if you have the compounds in smoke that are bad, that leave that thick smoke on your food, it's gonna burn out as it passes through that fire. When I would run cooks on my homemade cube, I would actually light my wood fires in my charcoal basket the same way. And for those of you that don't know, that was a vertical cooker I had homemade built that had a fire basket at the bottom, the meat went at the top. I would put my wood below the fire and start the fire over the top to achieve the same effect. It's built into this cooker. There's no other way to operate it. That means if you want to put your wood down in the ash pan where you normally would when it comes to a gravity cooker and let the smoke rise up that way, it's going to be the exact same smoke as you would if you'd loaded up the appropriate amount of wood in your hopper and it burned down that way. The bad elements of smoke are going to get burned off in this hopper, and that is amazing. I did not know that was coming, and I love that Char-Griller did that. Guys, look forward to a lot of cooks coming up on this cooker. Right in the hopper, I can tell you the next video we do is going to be a summertime pulled pork with a delicious special mustard vinegar sauce. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited to bring that to you. So big reveal, we're actually going to be cooking KCBS competitions on these cookers. We're going to document those cooks in several ways. One is on competition day on Saturdays or Sundays. We're going to be doing Instagram stories over on the Char-Griller page. Later, we're going to be doing live reports back of how we did in the cook. And also we're going to be writing up blog entries of different techniques. As I learn these cookers, you can learn along with me. So make sure you go follow Char-Griller on those appropriate social media platforms. We can do this together. These cookers have so much promise. I'm so excited to do this. If you've got any questions about these, make sure you hit me up. I'm pumped to answer them. We're gonna learn this together basically, but there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. I can't wait to take you along as we find out what all we can do with this cooker. Now, if you heard me say competition and you're wondering what kind of competition ribs I cook, meet me over here and let's talk about it.